Alright guys, this is our neck rotation. So starting this one, I touch my chin down to my chest, and then I scrape my chin across my collarbone, pretending like I've got a pen on top of my head and I'm trying to draw the biggest circle I can possible. Then you'll put it in the opposite direction, going as slow as you can, trying to expand the circle. Notice that I'm not letting my shoulders move, my hips, I'm not leaning anywhere. I'm trying to make sure the only thing that's moving is my neck. So after this, I'm going to move into my scapulas. I'm going to keep my elbows straight, my palms on the sides of my legs. On this one, try and keep my head neutral. I start by pushing my shoulders together, bringing them up towards my ears. I squeeze them together, and then I push them down to my pockets. And then I go in reverse. This one here is going to be a shoulder rotation, so I keep my thumb up. Bring my arm into flexion or as close to my ear as I can. Once I hit that sticking point, I rotate my hand. So I'll show you again as I come back around here. My thumb is up, I come up slow. Once I hit that point, I rotate my hand, trying to keep it as close to my midline as I can. Then at the bottom, I extend. Once I hit that point, rotate, and I come around. This one is my wrist, so there's two ways we're going to do this. The first one is going to be open palm. Make sure you're keeping your palm straight so your fingers aren't doing all the work. So I'm drawing the biggest circle I can, like you're holding a pencil between your fingers. You're just drawing a big circle. I hang onto my forearm because you're going to notice sometimes if you do this on your own that your forearm's going to try and cheat the range of motion for you. So get a good grip on your forearm with your opposite hand to restrict that. The next one will be closed fist. So same thing, you just close your hand and try and make the biggest circle possible with your wrist. Both of these, you start by flexing your wrist towards you, then you rotate around just like I'm doing here, big circle, as big as you can control. Always try and expand the circle, make it bigger. On this one, I'm working on my elbow joint. So here, my palm is up, I'm trying to pull my palm as close as I can, and then I'm pushing my hand away from my body. This one's a spinal rotation, so on this you really want to make sure your hips aren't moving. So I'm squeezing my quads, I'm squeezing my butt. As I'm doing this, you're going to notice your hips want to try and get involved to help cheat the range of motion. So I'll talk you through it as I do my second rep here from a different angle. So I start by flexing my spine or trying to get all the vertebrae to pop out. I rotate my shoulders. Once I hit that point, I lean. I start leaning back into extension, leaning to the opposite side. I turn my shoulders, and now I'm back into flexion. And then I just do it in the same thing, opposite direction. Trying to make the biggest circle I can, like I've got a pen on top of my head and I'm trying to draw a circle above my body. This one's going to be the cat camel. You might have done this in yoga. The only difference is I'm trying to segment each vertebrae of my spine. I'm not very good at it. What I'm trying to do is move each individual vertebrae one at a time. So as I do my next rep here, I'll talk you through what I'm trying to do. So I tuck my chin down. I pretend like I've got a string attached to my spine and someone's pulling it towards the ceiling, and I'm going one vertebrae at a time, trying to. I pause there, and then I do the opposite. I'm extending. So I've got that string. Someone's pulling it towards the floor. I start at my low back, working my way up towards my neck, and then I'm extended as much as possible there. This one is my hip. So this one I like to hang on to the rig just to make sure I'm not compensating in my low back. Really helps me irradiate tension in the rest of my body as well. So I'll talk you through it as I do my next rep here. I start by bringing my knee up into flexion. I externally rotate, try and keep my knee high as I turn my foot back, and then I circle around into extension. Then I go in reverse, so I extend back, keeping the foot back as I internally rotate. Now I'm externally rotated, bringing the knee high, knee flexion, and then I set it down. This is going to be another one for your hips, hip internal rotation and external rotation. So I'm keeping my butt on the floor. Right here, I'm pressing both knees to the floor, and then I bring one knee towards the middle of my body, making sure to keep my butt on the floor. Don't let your butt leave the floor as you're doing that internal rotation or bringing the knee to the inside of your body. That's cheating. So the next one here is going to be for the knee capsule. Some of you guys are going to have a tough time with this, but what I do, I pull the skin out of the way. This isn't a very good view of it. I'm pulling the skin out. I get a finger on each side of the kneecap, and I'm really just trying to move it around in the biggest range of motion possible. So this one is tibial rotation. Tibia is going to be in your lower leg. So as I'm going, I'm locking my ankle, so I'm not just turning my foot side to side. I'm trying to rotate at the knee, at my tibia, that bone in the lower part of your leg. This next one here is going to be for your ankle. So you bring your leg into a type of chokehold, get a grip on your shin so your shin isn't moving, and then you're just drawing the biggest circle possible with your ankle. Pretend like you've got a pen in your toes, there's a piece of paper in front of you, and you're just trying to draw a really big circle on that piece of paper. Our last one, guys, I'm moving my toes. So I start big toe down, little toes up, little's down, big up. Then I do the opposite, so all of them up, I try and set down just the big toe, lift it up, little's down, up, big down, and then I try and spread my toes as much as I can, bring them together, and